we have a monthly focus this month on heavy metal detoxing. I'm going to be sharing the protocol within this class and also share with you guys how these things are in our lifestyle, our everyday environment, our atmosphere, what we're breathing. And I only want to give about 15 to 20 minutes because I know people got stuff to do today, and so do I. You know, I'm getting prepared. Also, got to get all the medicine ready for this particular cleanse right here. Some people, if you're keeping up with the schedule, you already know what we're about to get ready to do. So some people have already bought their heavy metal detox. I used to sell two different forms. I used to sell a herbal chelation form, which was the herbal form. I think it's still on the website. You can still perform this if you wanted to. And I'm gonna tell you why I switched over to the heavy metal pharmaceutical kind. I actually can put together nutraceuticals. What I did here was buy the calcium, buy the disodium, and buy the tetraacetic acid. I wanted to put those together in a nice little form so that we can chelate these metals out. But this stands for ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. So sodium editate is what we'll be using for this particular heavy metal cleanse. So we are exposed to this thing every day. There's no way to get around it. Like, it's almost as prevalent as the parasites that are out here because in our atmosphere there are nanoparticles. We are receiving heavy metals from the chemtrails. They spray out arsenic, they spray out strontium, which is another heavy metal. We also get this in our groundwater from our modern day industry, our technological industry that put the computer parts here or battery parts there, or the insecticides or the pesticides. All those things have some type of aluminum or lead or mercury, or we got our amalgamums that we had in our past if we did any type of dentistry work. Those things get a chance to leak inside of our body, and there is no way that we can really avoid these things until we start doing things nutritionally, start doing things as a cycle for our heavy metal detox, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. So in our topsoil, there's going to be some heavy metals because the groundwater, the topsoil is going to have either lead in there, it's going to have some arsenic, some cadmium. For all you guys that are smoking, if you smoke tobacco, the tobacco plant has a high affinity for cadmium. So I want to kind of organize this, guys, because I wrote down some things yesterday trying to get prepared. But I also, in the group, you will see two pictures. Matter of fact, let me go to those pictures because it's very important. I show how this is affecting our body when it comes to being a carcinogen, when it comes to being genotoxic, meaning that these lead or heavy metal particles, these are inorganic metals that can take the place of all of our hydrogen molecules, meaning that's going to cause some oxidative damage, that's going to cause some free radical stress going on, and that can be the potentiation of cancer. So we want to make sure that we know about these things because it's something what we call a bioaccumulative effect. And as long as we're eating, you know, if the plants are going to have it in it, you know, this is one of the reasons why I stopped eating grains 4 years ago. It's because grains have the highest affinity of lead and arsenic in it. And lead causes men to lose their sperm motility. Also, it decreases the amount of zinc. It is one of the ligands that basically inhibits or blocks zinc's absorption. So if you notice that grains always turn into a sugar, it's going to also be the culprit of diabetes, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, and many other neurodegenerative type of disease because of the lead and the arsenic that's going on. All right. Also, we know that, well, from my own experience, I've learned that when you use a heavy metal detox, your cardiovascular system improves, meaning Say for instance, being that these things deplete certain minerals, certain things like your rice, your bread, your croissants and things like that, cereal. You guys, we grew up eating Fruit Loops, we grew up eating Pebbles, we grew up eating Lucky Charms and Corn Flakes and all these different types of cereal, and they were full of lead, they were full of cadmium, aluminum, even thallium was in there. And a lot of people don't know that these things were a part of it. And this is why we have this ADHD big community, I would say, because we know that those things can cross over the brain barrier. And if anybody is to go through any of my protocols, they'll learn that you can get rid of the ADHD by getting rid of all of those aluminum late 40s, the arsenic, the lithium, the red 40s, the yellow 5, all those different types of heavy metals. That's what they are, and they create ADHD. Okay, so as you notice that when you do a heavy metal cleanse, for those who have high blood pressure, this will improve your circulation. Okay, so inside of our vessels, they become stiff based on our ability to absorb the calcium and magnesium, our sedentary lifestyle. So I think for most people that have high blood pressure, they will notice that the heavy metal cleanse helps them regulate their vasoconstriction and their dilation. So their arteries will become more cleaner once they do the heavy metal cleanse. And it'll help lower their blood pressure. Lead is one of the culprits of infertility for women because it does cross over into the placenta and it can affect the neurons of the baby's brain. And as I'm thinking about it right now, there are heavy metals called dioxins that come from tampons, and that can cause a lot of abnormal cell growth inside of the cervix. I just figured I'd throw that in there because a lot of women also go through these things with heavy metals, with endometriosis and ovarian cysts. So it's important. We live in this modern world. It's ubiquitous. It's a ubiquitous exposure, and we have no way to, we have to know about these things. And if you don't know about it, there are certain herbs, right, that will help you remove some of the toxic load. But this is the reason why I stopped using this one, because it's only taking it's 10% absorbed, and it's going to remove maybe about 9 to 8%. So the cilantro, the parsley, the shiitake, the milk thistle, which is the silymarin, those really help when it comes to maintenance of removing some of the toxic load. So this is something that you can use as a maintenance. But the protocol is dealing with the EDTA. Okay, the EDTA helps you by using it for 10 days on and 10 days off, and then 10 days back on. I like to cycle this so that your body can recover naturally, and you'll see the full protocol. I already developed what you call a guide. If you guys know about the guide section already, look in the guide section for heavy metal detox. I just developed that this morning, and I wrote down the instructions just as it's written on this bottle. Okay. And we don't take this unless we're taking some type of multivitamin, because we're going to be lower on our other minerals like iron, because it is a metal, zinc. So you're going to have to replenish, get rid of some of the bad minerals and start to replenish some of the good metals. So the best thing to do is to get rid of the metals first, all right, and then start using other ways with nutrition. All right. So let's go into some of the things how it bioaccumulates. If you eat seafood, okay, if you eat tuna fish, salmon, especially fish that eat other fish, okay, you're going to have a mercury toxicity load. So any big fish If you're eating bigger fish like grouper, they're going to have more mercury in there. That mercury has no other place to go except to our brain and lodging into our nervous system. So those of you guys that have multiple sclerosis, ALS, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, dementia, all of those type of neurodegenerative type of diseases need to do a heavy metal detox. Okay. Some of the symptoms that include from just mercury, you will find that you will have peripheral artery disease or peripheral neuropathy. Those sharp pains that travel up, maybe the sciatica can get damaged just from having mercury, this heavy metal. The tingles, the numbness that you may feel is also a symptom. Having a burning mouth or a tongue feeling like it's very like you had some hot coffee on your tongue, burning of the tongue. A metallic taste in your mouth would definitely be a symptom of heavy metal toxicity, and especially with mercury. And of course, brain fog. All of the metals will create some type of brain fog. All right. For lead, you'll find this in our water supply. Just the runoff from different industries, maybe even some of those old pipes that used to have lead in it. I don't know how many cities are built out there, but the solder, when they used to put the pipes together, they would have the lead inside of those pipes. So maybe they don't have that too much now, but be careful because lead is still there. So some of those symptoms from lead poisoning, you will find that you will get kidney damage. The third portal system of the nephrons gets damaged by lead. And in order for it to get there, it had to go through the liver. So it's best to open up those detox pathways first so that you can be able to detox this out. If you notice that you have any cramping in your muscles, spasms in your eyelids and things like that, this could be a symptom of lead poisoning. Bone loss, the density of your bones. As we get older, it's not always the estrogen that's causing bone density loss. This could also be a symptom of lead poisoning. Aluminum that are found in like your tin cans. If you're eating canned goods, aluminum will be in the inside of those cans. And where does aluminum like to go? It likes to go to your brain. I also want to say those who cook with aluminum foil, if you're wrapping your sweet potatoes up in aluminum foil, that's not a good thing because it can seep inside of that potato. Mental health conditions are very associated with aluminum. Of course, dementia and Alzheimer's. About thallium. Thallium is not really talked about that much. Thallium can be found in kale. I talked about this in the women's group because it can give off a symptom of a yeast infection. If you like to consume a lot of kale, so you guys that are doing, well, ladies, men don't really have this symptom from kale, but ladies would have the symptom of a yeast infection if they eat a lot of kale or like to juice or eating a lot of smoothies that have kale. And it's just found in there. It's one of the detoxing metals for this particular plant, but it's left in the plant. And this is when you will find symptoms of dizziness, hair loss from thallium. Alopecia is associated with thallium. Okay. These are things that people are not really looking at, especially doctors are not looking at this. Also, I want to throw in about arsenic. Arsenic has symptoms of hyperpigmentation. So if you find that you can't really tonify your skin, so like I was telling people about the skin toxicity, hyperpigmentation is also a part of that. So arsenic, you may need to get a heavy metal test. You can get this blood serum test of your heavy metals. You can ask your doctors to get it done. But if you want to test before you do the detox, or you want to test after, however you want to do it, I kind of would like for you guys to test before and then after you finish the cleanse. But if you don't have that means, and all of us have a bioaccumulation of it, just go ahead and do it. It'll definitely help you out. So these are how this slow dosage of accumulation of metals, this biological, endogenous inorganic material that is causing free radical damage, is helping us age a lot more, what I call genotoxicity. And these things are carcinogens. So we do have to find a way to get rid of this thing, guys. So in the group, I also put another picture up about what we can do nutritionally. Okay. I gave pretty much the chemical names. It's in a picture. I didn't create the picture, but it did tell if you wanted to help the kidneys detox the metals, you can use alpha lipoic acid. You can use quercetin, which is a bioflavonoid that are found in a lot of fruits and vegetables, especially your green leafy vegetables. Quercetin can be found. But we already know about curcumin, which is found in the turmeric, and those things can help out with kidneys. And that's the nutritional thing, but you want to do a heavy metal detox first, okay? And then you start working on the nutritional side. If you are having like a carcinogenic effect from the heavy metals, then you will use things like sulforaphane and also quercetin. Go back and check that picture, guys. If there was neurotoxicity, we can use omega-3s, of course. That's what's also on this picture. For skin toxicity, they are using something called epigallocatechin, 3-gallate, which is basically the phytochemical in green tea. Cardiovascular toxicity, we are using things like curcumin, vitamin C, and sulforaphane. And sulforaphane is found in our broccoli, our cruciferous vegetables, so that can be also a way to detox and open up those pathways. Oh, so what should we eat while we are on this detox? We want to do a lot of greens. Your green leafy vegetables, start juicing, making smoothies. Try to omit the kale. Distilled water only, okay? Because you guys got to understand, if you're drinking spring water, you're going to have some heavy metals in there. You're also going to have some other dissolved substances, minerals that should not be there, because we know that the body only absorbs distilled water. And our kidneys have to filter distilled water, so let's just use distilled water. Now, keep in mind that you got to drink a lot more water when you're doing this, okay? We want to do 10 days on, 10 days off. You can use the hydration protocol with this. You can also use the Shalom healing water. If you guys don't know anything about the Shalom healing water, basically you'll put in there a B complex, some chlorophyll, 32 ounces of distilled water, and some vitamin C. That will be your Shalom healing water. I made this in a video, I believe, last year. You guys can actually search that in the search bar, because we can only get these heavy metals out through urine. We can only get them out through sweating, and that's why the sauna is important. The sauna is very, very important. Whether you use a infrared sauna, I think infrared. Right now, I have a personal steam sauna. And I really still like the infrared sauna because it goes deeper into an epidermal layer. So you get a chance to sweat out heavy metals this way. And of course, having a healthy bowel movement. You guys that are eating a bunch of bread and rice, you're constipated with all of the lead as well, the arsenic, all those different type of compounds. So make sure that you're having a healthy bowel movement. Do some type of colon cleanse. Do the total detox. Do the GI sponge. Make sure that you're eliminating those eliminated pathways are very clear. Doing liver flushes, but having those pathways open so that you can detox. And remember, EDTA is a chelating agent, so it's going to take out other minerals as well. So you got to replace that. And I don't want you guys to take EDTA without taking multivitamins. All right, so 1 a day multivitamin to help you replenish while you're going through this. If you have bought this and doing your own thing without buying a multivitamin, then you're not really following the instructions. You can end up being very fatigued. You could probably end up being nauseous. So you have to take the EDTA on an empty stomach, okay? 2 to 3 hours before a meal, 3 capsules per day. So with this bottle, you have 100 capsules in here. All right, so you get a chance to do this for 10 days, that's 30 capsules. Take 10 days off. Another 10 days, which is another 30 capsules. Take 10 days off. And then another 30 days. You got 3 times to do this. And this bottle only costs you $24. I see a lot of other people that are trying to get over on people on heavy metal detoxes and still trying to use forms like parsley, which is not going to get rid of the toxic load, guys. It's not going to get rid of the full toxic load. This is something, when you use a parsley and a cilantro, making these STs, if you ever see a herbalist out there selling this as a heavy metal detox, you're only taking out a portion of the load. But this right here can get all of it. Okay, so you're doing this for 6 weeks. You need 2 bottles of this. And you do that for 6 weeks. You'll find that your joints will stop hurting so much. Because if there was a rheumatoid arthritis situation, and this is for the people that have rheumatoid arthritis in here, in this group, I know exactly who you guys are. We have something called molecular mimicry that happens inside of our genome. All right. Like I said, how metals like lead and arsenic can try to take the place of our hydrogen molecules because they mimic the same molecules. They only try to disrupt our protein function. So they will go in there and what I call immunological toxicity. And if there's any type of overactive immune system, it could be caused by these heavy metals. So be careful and make sure that you're using the Thunder God Vine extract and using a heavy metal detox. You should also work on getting rid of your parasite if you're dealing with rheumatoid arthritis. All right? But I appreciate y'all love and support. Gratitude to everyone. Peace and love, everybody. I see you guys in the group. Have a blessed day.